I'm Michael's son. So we go on today reading letter 1. This is excerpt 5. The truth about Jesus' humanity was bent. His experience in the desert was omitted entirely. Only one person can dispel the myths about Jesus of Nazareth. A new and important question is already coming into people's consciousness. Who are you really behind the facade you present to the world? What does it take to be real? It is this question of who you really are which is answered on every level of your being within these pages. And if you can accept as your own guidelines for daily living all that I understood during my 6 weeks experience in the desert, you too will eventually become whole and real, even as I became whole and real before I commenced my ministry of healing and teaching. Since there are few people in the world who would regard themselves as whole at this present time, you must surely recognize that there is a most urgent need for me to intrude into your minds to lead you into a new way of thought and feeling. Such a change in consciousness will bring you into divine harmony with reality and better living conditions and security. To be able to do this work of reconstruction within your consciousness, I must first impress on your own minds, and you must accept, there was much that I taught in Palestine which men were not yet ready to receive. Significantly, it has never been publicly questioned why there is no record of my early life as a young man. What was the true reason for such an all-important omission? Equally significant, although I spent 6 weeks in the desert after my baptism and emerged from that experience as a teacher and healer, not one single writer has even attempted to describe what actually took place during that time, other than I was tempted of the devil and was with the wild beasts, and the angels were with him. There is not the slightest hint as to what happened to me in the desert which would enable me to come back to towns and villages proclaiming that the kingdom of God is within, and to speak in the synagogues with such authority that the Jewish elders were astonished. The truth regarding my human state was, by common consent of my disciples, suppressed to give greater credence to my supposed divinity and ministry. According to the Gospels, it was said of me that I was the only Son of God. Why then did I frequently refer to me as the Son of Man? I made these statements specifically to counteract the prevalent beliefs in my divinity and to impress on people's mind that I was of the same physical origins as themselves. I intended them to understand that what I could do, they could do also, if they only had my knowledge and follow my instructions for right thinking and right action. So many myths have arisen around my earthly person and my spiritual consciousness. So many myths that it is time to be rid of themselves as completely as possible, since they are preventing people from evolving spiritually. You, who have been indoctrinated with religious teachings, must try to understand that when describing my life, my disciple gospelers related only what they personally remembered, which fully supported their account of my supernatural activities. They also included much that had been spoken of me by others during the 30-odd years following my death. after such a lapse of time in the inevitable embroidery of truth? How could they possibly write an authoritative biography of me and of what really happened? Or properly explain my true spiritual perceptions, which gave birth to my word and miracles? Only one person can write from this point of view, and that is myself. Yes, myself. Therefore, these letters will bring you my truth in a way that no spectator could possibly tell it, no matter how well they thought they understood my thinking. For this reason, it is that over 40 years, my recorder's mind has been systematically cleansed of all orthodox teachings, and the system of communication between us has been perfected. If my truth expressed in these letters differs from much written in the New Testament, is it to be wondered at or rejected for that reason alone? Therefore, I am descending in consciousness briefly, as near as necessary, to your plane of consciousness to describe my life and teachings 2,000 years ago. Well, it's 2,020 years ago today. Well, the reading ends here. Thanks so much for being here. Please be advised that now I'm publishing the actual text of the reading of what I read, of the actual text of the letter that I read that day in the YouTube video down below in the description box, okay? You will find it there. Occasionally, the whole text will not find there because of the space allotted by YouTube. But then you can read the rest by downloading the document, letter 1, from the official Christ Ways website. Okay, so thanks again for being here. It's been great to be here with you today. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Really do.